Welcome back to Golf WRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week we're again taking a look at Scottie Scheffler's bag from the 2025 PGA Championship. Congratulations to Scottie on his third major. Huge win for him. I know when he started out the day, I think we all figured, hey, it was in the bag, it was done. And then all of a sudden things got really interesting. And then he kind of walked away with it at the end. So still exciting to see Scottie kind of show some emotion, throwing his hat, getting all hyped up after a big win. So this one was definitely important to him. But congratulations to him. And again, he is a TaylorMade staffer, so most of the clubs in his bag are TaylorMade. He does have some other stuff thrown in there as well. I know this one isn't new, and there's really not anything new in it, but let's break it down. So the first thing is driver. We always start there, and it is the TaylorMade Qi10. Now, this is a dot head. So the dot head, as we talked about before, is a head that's in between the Qi10 at retail and the Qi10 LS in terms of spin. Spins a little bit less than the Qi10, spins a little bit more than the LS. There were some players they found, Scottie, Rory, a handful of others that found that they were just kind of in between. They couldn't quite dial in the spin low enough in the standard Qi10, and the LS was just too low spinning. So TaylorMade came up with this new head called the Dot in between that, and then it also has a very neutral ball flight bias as well. So playing the old driver, but I mean, if you're playing as well as Scottie has, you just want another major, why would you actually switch it out? So this one here is an 8-degree head marked. It is actually at 8.25 degrees, and it looks like he is actually set to the upright setting on the hosel. So moving the lie angle up about 2 degrees helps you turn it over, hit a little bit more of a draw there. Now his here, he plays it at 45 inches and a, D4 swing weight. Now the shaft on this one is going to be a Fujikura Ventus Black 7X. Now this is the 2018-19 model. So not the brand new VeloCore Plus model, the standard VeloCore from a few years ago. It has a really super firm handle section, really super firm tip section, stiff middle, low launch and low spin. On the 7X, it comes in at 78 grams and 2.8 degrees of torque. Now I move on to 3-wood, and the 3-wood is a matching Qi10 from TaylorMade. It's a 15-degree head. His is actually measured out to 14.75 degrees. He plays his at 42 and 5/16 inches long, and it is a D3 swing weight. Now, on this one here, this is the bonded hosel, standard one. I think a lot of us, when Qi10 came out, thought a lot of tour pros were going to play the standard, the tour version of the 3-wood, but almost all of them gravitated towards the standard Qi10, which probably launches it to a little bit higher, spins just a little bit more. That tour head was a pretty low spinning head. So this one here, bonded hosel, a little bigger look to it, a little higher launch. This one is shafted up also with a Fujikura Ventus Black from 2018-19, but this one is an 8X. So a little bit heavier, comes in at 85 grams, 2.8 degrees of torque, and it's tipped 1.5 inches in that 3-wood. Now we went to his next club, and he is actually playing a 7-wood, and it is a TaylorMade, but it is the brand new Qi35 7-wood. So the brand new one has the new carbon top on it, a little different design, a little forward movable weight that you can kind of shift there or adjust due to swing weight or maybe taking some spin off, things like that. But the brand new one, bonded hosel again, really traditional look, looks very square to slightly open at address. And this one here is shafted up like his 3-wood with a Fujikura Ventus Black from 2019, but a 9X. Now, interesting enough, he's got the brand new head, but he doesn't have the brand new Ventus Black from 24 in it with VeloCore Plus. They built it up with an older shaft, an older version of the Ventus Black, which is probably something he is just comfortable with. Now, this one comes in at 95 grams and 3.1 degrees of torque. Now, the 7-wood head is 21 degrees. I've read some stuff online. Nobody's confirmed it yet that it's maybe playing 20 degrees or just around that. So it could be, like the 3-wood, just slightly different than what's marked on the hosel. Now we get to his irons, and irons, he is playing a little bit of a combo. The first iron in his bag is his 4-iron, and this is a Srixon ZU85. Now this was a utility iron from Srixon that was released in 2018. Compared to the current Srixon Z utility, it's got a slightly thicker top line, maybe just a touch more offset. The head shape could be slightly larger than the one that's out now, but it's a hollow body, thin face design, meant to add a little bit of speed to the top end of the bag. And stuff like this is put in bags for these guys for hitting certain numbers. And instead of the matching 4-iron for the blades that he has that plays in his set, this one here could add a little bit of speed and get him that distance that he wants. But this one is shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Shoe X100, which again we talk about every week. And it is 130 grams, kind of on the lower launch and spin side, but very classic, been around absolutely forever. Now, the rest of his irons, 5-through pitching wedge, are the TaylorMade P7TW. So these are the blades that Tiger Woods helped develop. Mill grind soles on them, so every sole is always the same when they mill it. There's no variation when you hand polish. You typically get variations in the degrees of bounce or the shaping of the sole. The mill grind ones, they're always identical because they are basically milled within thousandths of an inch of every single one. So no variation. They don't play any different. But these have a slightly longer blade length, a very progressive face height. When you get down to the lower irons like 7, 8, 9 pitch, that face height gets a little taller for the look of it from address. And at the longer irons like the 4-iron, it's a little bit longer, a little bit shallower face height. Tend to stretch that blade out, make it a little bit more forgiving, a little bit easier to hit. But a very thin top line on them, very little offset, built around what Tiger likes. I believe they've got just a little bit of tungsten kind of dead center behind where you strike the ball. Forged out of carbon steel, but Scottie plays them a lot because he was influenced by Tiger. But he plays the P7TWs 5-through pitch. And these are also shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100s. So again, 130 grams, kind of on the lower launch, lower spin side. A little bit firmer handle on this one, but very traditional, very classic. Majority of players, it seems like, on tour play these shafts. All right, so we move into wedges, and Scottie is playing the Titleist Vokey SM8 wedges. Yes, these are a couple generations old, but the SM8 and SM10 have a little similar center of gravity placement. The 9 kind of got a little further out from the face, and they played just a little bit different. The 8s and the 10s are kind of similar. Now, the difference with the 8 to me is that they have just maybe a little bit more offset, and that leading edge maybe just slightly more rounded than the 10s. 10s are very straight from hosel into leading edge, and it could just be a look thing that Scottie likes in those older SM8s. Now, the first one he is playing is a 50.12 F grind. So this is the gap wedge, 50 degrees, but it is actually the higher bounce version. They make an 08 version as well in the F grind, but the F grind is a full sole, not a ton of relief on it, a little bit wider, great for full shots or playing, shots that are where the face is square to the target. Now, this one's shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400. Of course, classic. It seems to be matched up with the X100, but a little bit softer for those less than probably full shots, adding a little bit of feel to it. Now into sand wedge, he is again playing a Vokey SM8, but this time the 56.14 F. So this is a really high bounce F grind again here. I know a lot of people think pros play these, like super aggressive ground wedges where they can throw them open. Well, this 56.14 F is great for shots out of rough, out of softer conditions. If you have a steeper swing, and even out of the bunker, it's just got a lot of bounce to it. Slightly wider sole. Again, shots that are played square to the target are great. If you open the face up in the bunker, it's got a ton of float, and out of thicker rough, it tends to play really well also. So that's for his sand wedge there, and then we move into his gap or his lob wedge. And the lob wedge is a Vokey WedgeWorks 6006 K grind. So this is something new. We used to play a lot of the T grind. The K grind is kind of a little bit different than that. So it's 6 degrees of bounce, and it's a little bit just wider sole. So the K was really made famous with the 14 degree bounce version. That was just the absolute bunker club from Vokey. Super easy to hit out of the bunker. Great for soft conditions. If you catch it fat, it would glide through. So the 06 has still a lot of that. When you play it out of the bunker, you open it up, that wide sole allows a bunch of float through softer sand. And it's still pretty forgiving sole on tight, firm conditions because it will kind of glide through. But for a player like Scottie, taking some of the bounce off allows it to play better in those tighter, really firm conditions. And if he's maybe just a little bit shallower with that 60 degree in terms of his angle of attack, he could be able to hit some more shots with it. So a little bit different, brand new one there. This one also shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400. So 132 grams, a little bit softer, better for those kind of touch and feel shots around the green, but still matches kind of the feel and the consistency of the X100 that he has in his irons. Now you move into putter, and his putter is a TaylorMade Spider Tour X. So this is the L neck version or plumber's neck version. It's got a full shaft offset to it. It's that neck that goes up and kind of shifts over towards the left. But it's got the true line or true path alignment on top, the big white stripe, and then a single black line through it with alignment for his alignment there. Now this one here is actually 35.5 inches long is what he plays it. 3 degrees aloft, 72 degree lie angle. And it's got that pure roll insert in the front that is face insert that is made from Srixon, which is kind of like a rubber plastic material, offers a really soft feel. But the pure roll insert will take off a lot of backspin, stop a lot of skidding, hopping, produce a lot of forward roll on it. Been playing this putter for a little while. Now the grip on it is a Golf Pride Pro Only cord. This is a kind of rubber and cord grip, a little bit firmer. He's playing the Green Star version, which kind of has more of a little bit of an oval pistol shape to it, and it's the largest out of the Pro Only cord grips there. I think it's 88 cc's, but that is his putter. And then for the rest of the grips on his clubs, he's playing just the Golf Pride Tour Velvet. So the traditional brushed rubber herringbone pattern grip from Golf Pride, been around forever. I think we've all played it at some point on a club here and there, but just a great blend of all-weather traction. Not too rough, but it's got some good tackiness to it, but been around for a long time and played all over the world. Now for ball, he's playing the Titleist Pro V1. This is going to be the lower launching, kind of more penetrating flight ball compared to, say, the Pro V1X in the lineup. It's got a little bit softer feel to it as well. Lower spin in the long irons and the driver, but still has that greenside drop and stop kind of control to it. So that is Scottie Scheffler's What's in the Bag from the PGA Championship this year. Congratulations to him again on winning his third major. Exciting to see. And now he's got 2 more to finish the Grand Slam. So let's start talking about that. But check back next week when we'll jump through the next winner's What's in the Bag.